Hi. So the first stop on our tour of Mega Man 4's weapons is going to be the improved Mega Buster. You can only have one of it and nothing else on screen at the same time, and it's basically as strong as 3 regular Buster shots, and it penetrates. So now that bosses only ever take 1 damage from the Buster, you're going to need charge shots to do more damage to them. As I think I already demonstrated, when you get hurt and you have it, you don't lose the charge, something that will be introduced later. You also can't destroy enemies with reflected shots or anything like that, but I give this version of the Mega Buster for a first try. It had some failings, like it's not very thick, but I'll give it a 7 out of 10. See this Skeleton Joe here? He's attacking us. Let's make him stop. Okay, let's make him stop for good. Now a charge shot will do that, but what also will do it is the first master weapon on the list, the Flash Stopper. It will stop enemies and remove partial immunities from some of them, like Skeleton Joes and shield attackers. Normally invulnerable from the front, they can now be picked off at your leisure. Well, as long as it lasts anyway. Even Batantons, but actually Batantons aren't affected by this immunity deficiency, which I will show just for a brief second right now. These and Mets still are invulnerable during the Flash Stopper, but its uses for getting through rooms unscathed are very many. The Flash Stopper also reduces Pharaoh Man to a pathetic mess. Just use it, get in close, and keep mashing the button, and he's dead in no time. It's the only boss it works on, though. But with this in mind, I'll have to give the Flash Stopper a 9 out of 10. It is simply pretty much the best weapon in this game, other than the regular Buster, to take out rooms and enemies as much as you please. So next we have Toadman's Rain Flush. It shoots a missile up. The missile is just a formality, actually. Even if you shoot it from high up on the screen, it still takes the same amount of time to get the rain to come out. The rain is an all-screen damaging attack. Notice I don't say screen clearing, because it doesn't destroy all enemies in one hit. You'd think it should for how much energy it consumes. That and the delay that it has, I have to give it about a 5. There are better screen clearing attacks in the future, which we will get to later. Next is one of the neater explosive weapons, the Drill Bomb from Drillman. It explodes on contact with a wall or enemy, and you can also make it explode early by pressing the B button again. This isn't going to help you destroy many enemies. The explosion is only about as small as the center of the ring of explosions. It does have some power versus some enemies, namely those big pounder things, but I don't think you can really rely on it too much. I'm going to give the Drill Bomb a 6 out of 10. It definitely has some improvements from previous explosive weapons in the series, and it's one of the few things that can take out electric spines. But then, some completely retarded enemies are immune to it, like that fish, so you can't really rely on it, but it does have some power, and when you bring it out, it'll do what you want it to. Next we have the Pharaoh Shot. You can hold up or down to shoot it up or down at an angle, and it also has a charge shot, which balloons up over your head like that. Now if an enemy takes away the charge shot by being too powerful for it to defeat it, you still actually have it because you don't lose your charge shot. Just release the button and you'll shoot another fully charged shot. Now if an enemy takes away your balloon and you want the balloon back, just pause the game and keep holding the B button and you'll get it back. If an enemy isn't strong enough to take away the ball, they just get destroyed by it. So you've got a cool sort of shield here. With that in mind, I think I'll give the Pharaoh Shot an 8 out of 10. All the little tiny bugs and uses you can get out of it are pretty cool. One of the Ring Boomerang's claim to fame is that it is piercing. It can go straight through enemies with immunity and not ping off, though it won't do any damage unless it actually can attack a weak point. It returns to you fairly quickly. You can't trick it for very long to keep its hitbox out, and you only can have one, and it's not too powerful, but it does have a few uses. It can take out electric spines in one shot, if you were wondering about that. Here's an example of the ring boomerang's not so much power. It does have kind of a lot of hitboxes per shot, but you're not going to do too much damage to enemies who are powerful. I give the ring boomerangs, for its short range but its somewhat interesting abilities, I'll give it about a 5. The Dust Crusher has up to 5 hitboxes. One is the projectile, and when it hits anything, it splits up into up to 4 more. I say up to 4 more because if you hit an enemy squarely with it, it can do up to 3 hits by itself by staying in the enemy for longer. And also, you can do trick shots if you're a very good shot, have some excellent pool experience or something. I'm not going to be claimed to be too good at that. Yes, haha, 1-up. Oh, okay, so the Dust Crusher is pretty straightforward, but it does have some uses, some power. I would recommend using it against Mummy-Riz, because hitting them squarely, it will take them out in one shot. So I'll give it about a 5 out of 10. Still that one Dust Crusher iteration per screen rule, but there are some interesting uses for it. The dive missile is basically just a homing missile. I would recommend being fairly close to an enemy before you shoot it off, though, especially against mobile ones, because if you barely miss them, the missile will loop around in some pretty weird ways in order to get to the enemy, and you can end up crashing into an enemy just like that when you think your shot would have destroyed them. Even with the pesky 1 per screen limit rule, there's no question that a homing missile comes in quite handy versus bosses like this. Just be sure, as I said, to hit those homing missiles of his squarely, or it will loop around like crazy, and you will be in some trouble. Oh, and it can take out these things in 3 shots too. And you can't even hit something as slow as that. Nevertheless, I think I'll give the dive missile a 6 out of 10. The skull barrier will stay active around you until it hits exactly one thing. It's not very durable. It can be useful for moving quickly through areas like this, and it can deflect shots. Well, by deflect I mean absorb them, but as I said before, only one shot will pop it, and it's not too cheap to activate either. So I can't really recommend it that much, but it does have some uses, so I'll give it about a 4 out of 10. It's an interesting little shield weapon. So tune in next time, and I'll show you where to get 2 of the 5 utilities and describe them.